Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. Today I am here with another WIP and chat. WIP stands for Work in Progress, and of course the chat stands for me chatting. We'll see how this goes. I am trying to do this while my household is currently pretty busy, so we'll see how many times I get interrupted. And of course, you know, if you want to grab your whatever you're working on and work on your diamond painting alongside, or whether you want to just listen, either way, it's all good. Today, what you see me working on here is one of the canvases I bought for the Summer with the Masters event, and I will try to remember to put their information down below. It's being run by Tiny Worlds of Wonder and Diamonds and Washi, so I'll put links to their YouTube down below. But it's about finding public domain artwork to work with and rediscovering kind of some of these old artists that people have forgotten about. This one is a canvas by Alphonse Mucha, and I think it was a cigarette advertisement, but I bought it because I love the Art Nouveau style, which Mucha was, and so I'm working on it. I do have thoughts about this canvas, and I will share those in a later video once I get finished. But for now, this is what I'm working on. I currently have two projects on the go. I have this one and my diamond painting Deutschland, and I will put a card up there if I remember so that you can look at the unboxing of that. Diamond Painting Deutschland, if you don't know, is a German diamond painting company, and they carry a lot of if not all of Josephine Wall's art. And I bought a couple of canvases for the Going J Wall event, and actually I had seen somebody else working on a Josephine Wall, Lizette over at Lizette Crafts and Tells. If you haven't checked out her channel, I will put a link to her YouTube below as well. She's the first one I actually saw working on a diamond painting Deutschland, and she's doing Joie de Vivre. That's not the one I chose. I chose Diana, and that's the one I am currently working on. I have another one that I will be working on as well. And I chose them for the challenge in colors. The Diana has 250 colors, and the Melody in Pink has 300 colors. If you follow Diamond Art Club, you will know that Diamond Art Club, I think last week, maybe it's 2 weeks ago by the time this posts, I don't remember, released Josephine Wall's Spirit of Flight. But theirs is different. It's not as many colors. Of course, Diamond Art Club does poured glue, where Diamond Painting Deutschland does double-sided adhesive. I know that double-sided adhesive scares off a lot of people, but I will say I've never, knock on wood, had a bad experience with double-sided adhesive. Yes, I've had a couple of issues with bubbling and things like that, but nothing that I haven't been able to fix, and my canvases have all turned out satisfactory. In fact, I will say I probably have had more problems with this canvas I'm currently working on than I've had with double-sided adhesive, and this one is poured glue. I don't know if it's my pen, I'm using glue dots, or if it's something else, but this canvas just has not been as sticky as I would like. There are several times where I have to literally pull the diamond off the pen because I can't get it to stick to the canvas. So that's been an issue with this canvas for me. But you'll have to wait until I do the finishing video to get all of my final thoughts, so keep an eye out for that. Um, anyway, whether you like poured glue or double-sided adhesive, there's something out there for you. So just um, if double-sided adhesive has kept you from buying a canvas, I would advise you not to let it. I think that both of them have their place. Um, I mean, if you have a preference, by all means, buy your preference, but don't let the kind of adhesive that's being used keep you away from a canvas that you really love. Um, and a lot of smaller canvases use poured glue if you're interested in trying poured glue. And a lot of them you can get with a double-sided adhesive. So maybe buy a small one and try it out just to see what you like before you decide to invest in something big. For example, my Diamond Painting Deutschland Diana is 100 by 80 centimeters, so it's a rather large canvas, which might be scary to some people. Again, this is another issue of me jumping in with both feet before I pay attention. I think I've mentioned before that I didn't really pay attention to whether or not I was buying squares or rounds. I know people have their preferences, and given a choice, I prefer the squares because I like that the background doesn't show through. I think it just gives a more kind of complete picture of the painting. But I don't mind doing rounds. Rounds go faster for me, so a lot of times when I buy the little snack sizes to do in between, I will buy the rounds because they go faster and I can just complete more of them. In fact, that's something I'm thinking about doing is comparing squares versus rounds, so we'll see. Um, and I don't know, maybe it's different for you. I just find that doing the squares takes longer because you have to worry more about lining them up and, you know, getting them in the correct place than you do with the rounds, because obviously with the rounds they will leave more of the background showing than the squares do, so it's not quite as important if you get them directly in the center or if you're off a little bit. Um, anyway, so I'm trying to look at my notes here because, of course, I feel like I have to um, have notes for myself. Otherwise, I have no idea what to say for these things. Um, I'm trying to figure out where my niche is for these WIP and chats. You know, I know that there are people who talk about like true crime stuff while they do their WIP and chats. I've seen people who do listen to audiobooks while they're doing WIP and chats. I've seen people kind of, instead of doing WIP and chats, they've taken to doing like basically vlogs where they're in their car or someplace else, um, to kind of do a one-on-one chat type kind of thing. Um, just not sure what my niche is yet. I mean, I don't want to copy anyone else. I watch a lot of true crime, so I could probably talk about that, but I don't feel like that's what I want to talk about. Um, I don't go a lot of places. I don't think car vlogging is for me. Although I will say, I was watching a Canadian diamond painter, and she was driving to Tim Hortons and talking about the things that you can get at Tim Hortons, like Timbits and a double double and Donairs. And of course, my husband is Canadian, and I've been to Canada several times, so I understood what all those things are. Um, but of course, American listeners wouldn't. So, just in case you're curious, a double double is double cream, double sugar. Um, a Timbit is a donut hole, and a donair is basically a gyro sandwich. My husband likes to make donairs, although I don't let him do it very often because I do not like the smell of the meat. The sauce that he puts on it is the bomb, but the meat smell, yeah, I don't enjoy so much. So he misses them though. He's lived here for 8 years now, and um, yeah, there are just certain things he misses. So, and I suppose if we move up there, I'll be the same way. There are no Sonics in Canada, which makes me sad because I really love Sonic Ice. Um, that was one of the things I started to put on my list of things to talk about was kind of the Canadianisms I've had to learn being married to my husband. And that is just weird things that they say differently than we would say them here in America. Um, so, one of the first things I had to learn was my husband would say, "Well, we'll do that after." And I would say, "Well, after what?" And in Canada, doing it after means doing it later. So I still, every once in a while, just to kind of get his goat, he'll say, well, we'll do that after. After what? So, um, and one of the things that we do together is I have a cutting machine. And so I have made stickers. I use my planners. I'm a big organizational nerd, and I use planners. I have a budget planner, I have a daily planner, I have a YouTube planner, just to kind of keep track of myself and everybody else in my household, because as the mom, it's always my job to make sure everybody knows where they need to be and when, right? By default, even though they're all basically grown-ups and could take care of that themselves. Um, anyway, we own a sticker machine, and I have made various stickers for my budgeting and other things, and he got into making vinyl decals with it. He's the one who made the I'd Rather Be Diamond Painting decal, and the kind of holographic cutout diamond that I've showed you before. I'll stick a card up there if I remember. Um, anyway, and he's made several for friends and colleagues at work. However, he calls them decals. And so the first time he called it a decal, I just kind of laughed at him, and he didn't understand why I was laughing, because, of course, it's a decal here. So that was another one. And then he, and I've never seen anybody else do this, but I've seen other Canadians on YouTube and other places that do the same thing. Like when my husband is done with something, he'll say, "I'm done dinner," when he means I'm done either cooking dinner or I'm done eating dinner, whatever. He'll say, "When I'm done dinner, then I'll do that." Whereas here in America, we would say, "When I'm done with dinner." So that has been interesting. And then the only other one I could think of off of the top of my head was sleeps. He will tell his kids or his grandkids, so many more sleeps before something happens. Where here in America, we would say, 2 more nights rather than sleeps. So that was kind of weird the first time I heard it. And he, even after 8 years, he still got his Canadian accent. His coworkers make fun of him sometimes for the things that he says. Oh, that's something else, like washroom. They say washroom in Canada instead of bathroom or restroom. And so we were actually out car shopping one time, and he asked the uh, car salesman where the washroom was, and the guy kind of looked at him funny, and I had to translate. So, um, yeah, it's just little things like that, that you don't realize until you spend a lot of time with someone, things that they say that are not things you would say. So I tease him. He gets a lot of teasing here for his Canadian accent. And so he keeps telling me, "Oh, I can't wait until we get to Canada, and then you'll be the one getting teased," which is probably true. I like to think I don't have an accent, but I'm sure lots of other people would say that I do. I'm from the Midwest, although I say the Midwest. We say the Midwest here because we're kind of geographically in the middle of the 48 U.S. states. But Midwest people consider Chicago, Illinois, that kind of thing, and I'm on the other side of the Mississippi, so I guess technically for a lot of people I'm considered West and not Midwest. But anyway, still trying to figure out what my niche is here on these WIP and chats. So yeah. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was apps. What kind of apps do you guys have on your phone? I have just a couple that are specifically for diamond painting, but I'm wondering if there's more out there that I just haven't heard of. Because one of the ones, and I found both of these from other diamond painting people sharing them with me. The first one is called Tiny Decisions. And if I remember, I will put a little example up here to show you what it does. Basically, you set up a wheel and then you spin a wheel and it makes a decision for you. So I have wheels set up for like what my next diamond painting will be. I have wheels set up so that when I divide my canvas into sections, I can spin the wheel and it'll tell me which section what to do. And I actually did that with this canvas. Um, I divided it up into 16 sections using my release papers. And all I do is put my release papers on the canvas, and then once they're on the canvas, I will go through and put stickers on them to number them. And then I'll just use my app to kind of roll it and tell me what section to work on. It just makes it a little bit nicer sometimes because it's kind of a surprise what section you're going to work on. Even if you know what the canvas is going to look like, you can, add that little bit of mystery to it because you don't know what section you're going to work on next. It's random, so sometimes you kind of end up working to sections that are all next to each other. Sometimes you end up doing a lot of hopping around. I did that with my Good Witch canvas and this one, and I've done it with some of my smaller ones as well. I've done it with my mystery painting, my second mystery painting. I didn't do it with the first one, and I should have. Um, so I use it for that. And then, of course, I have a wheel, like I said, that is diamond paintings in my stash. So if I can't decide which one I want to work on next, then I can go there and spin it, which I don't always follow what it says. It's that same thing where you ask someone, which one of these should I wear? And then when they tell you, you're like, no, I really want this other one. So that's happened to me a couple of times. But I have a lot of snack size paintings in my stash. And sadly, my bigger diamond painting stash is growing by leaps and bounds. I keep thinking I need to do a stash video because I'm kind of horrified at it sometimes when I look at it because, yeah, I could do diamond paintings from now until at least the end of the year without buying anything new, and I probably would have plenty. Not that that's going to stop me, but I was good this week. Diamond Art Club had several that I wanted in their new releases, but I've been burned a couple of weeks trying to get some things from Diamond Art Club, and just the frustration of trying to get on there. Even though I'm a VIP member and I get early access, I still, get it in my cart, and by the time I go to check out, it's already sold out, and that is just frustrating for me. And I just am not at a point in my life where I want to add to my frustration like that. So I just decided, you know what, I'm not going to get in the middle of all the frenzy this weekend. I'm going to enjoy my time. I'm going to do other things away from the computer, and I will just, when they're sold out, because I knew they would, and they did, I'll just tell them to notify me when they restock them. Does that mean I have to wait longer? Does that mean I run a chance that they won't get restocked? Yes, it does, but I'm okay with that. Maybe I'll get lucky and they'll show up at Hobby Lobby at some point and I'll get them on sale like lots of other people have been doing lately. I keep checking Hobby Lobby, and I've caught several sales, but they just haven't had any of the kits that I've wanted bad enough to pull the trigger on that. But, if you regularly go to Hobby Lobby, check it out. Getting a Diamond Art Club for 40% off is nothing to sneeze at, certainly. So, anyway, apps. So I have that Tiny Decisions app. And then someone pointed me towards an app called Gems Flow or Gemflow. I have to look it up and see. Um, but it's a place for you to kind of keep track of all of your diamond painting stuff. You can keep track of what canvases you have in your stash if you haven't started them yet. Once you start a project, it lets you keep track of all the things. It lets you keep track of the size of the canvas, how much you paid for it, including shipping and tax. Is it a full? Is it a round? Is it a partial? Is it a square? Is it a round? Does it have special diamonds? Um, you can add a picture of it. When did you order it? When did you receive it? What date did you start it? What date did you finish it? If you have notes about it, there's a rating system. And then the big thing for me for the Gems Flow is that it lets you track hours. So you can track your time with it. Now, for me, I don't track my time with the app. I just use a stopwatch on my phone, and then I keep track of it in two places. I actually keep track of the time in my diamond painting log, and then I will transfer that into the gems flow. Maybe at some point I won't do that in two places, but for now, I am. So once I stop my stopwatch, because when you're diamond painting, you get up and you move around. I have to anyway, stretch my legs a bit and then come back to it. Um, but then at the end of it, when I'm done for the day, I kind of total it up how much I worked on it that day, and that's what I'll put in the Gems Flow app. And then it keeps track of the total for you, which is nice because then I don't have to try and go through like I was doing when I first started with my diamond painting log and keep track of um, adding up the number of hours and minutes that I've spent. And maybe that seems like overkill to some people to kind of keep track of how long you spend on a diamond painting, but it's just for my own information. I'm not like racing against myself or anything. I'm just curious to see how long it takes me sometimes. And sometimes it has more to do with what I'm doing while I'm diamond painting. Am I watching TV at the same time? Is my family talking to me at the same time? What other things do I have going on while I'm trying to craft? If it's actual just dedicated crafting time, then it generally goes faster than if I have other people around, which is one of the reasons I find these whip and chats so challenging, because trying to find quiet time in my house where I can just sit and talk without people interrupting me is rare. And especially with my diamond painting Deutschland, because it's so big, I've had it on my dining room table, which of course is right by the kitchen, which means it's a hub for the family, which means there's constantly people going in and out, and so that is not always conducive to filming. I sometimes try to get up like really early before everybody else is up and get things done then. Um, but everyone is done with school now. I work at a school, and so does my oldest, and my youngest is in school. So now we'll all be home for the summer, which means my quiet time, even in the mornings, is probably going to be even more scarce. And I need to go take a quick break just to kind of get a drink, refresh my throat before I continue on with this, so I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. And let's see, we were talking about apps, and I shared the Tiny Decisions and the Gems Flow app, both of which you can find. I think they have them for both Android and iOS, so you should be able to find them. But I was curious, what apps does everybody else use? Are there any others specifically for diamond painting? Like, I know, for instance, everyone uses like Facebook and Instagram. I'm not a big Facebook person. I went ahead and set up a Facebook page and a Facebook group for Diamond Painting Anonymous, but to be honest, I don't really use them. And I don't really use the Facebook groups that I join for diamond painting. Um, I find Instagram easier. For social media, I'm much more of a visual kind of person. I know there's, things about Facebook groups and everything that people like that you can't really maybe necessarily do on places like Instagram and whatnot, but I like Instagram better just because it's visual and it's a lot easier for me, even as a newbie, to kind of interface with. Um, Not thrilled about the fact that it's owned by Facebook, but anyway, I am on Instagram, so if you'd like to follow me there, I would love for you to find me at Diamond Painting Anonymous. I try to post, when my videos go up, as well as other things in between, pictures, and I've tried my hand at a couple of diamond painting memes. Um, so I'm trying to work on that, and yeah, just trying to kind of get a whole handle on the social media game in the first place. Just social media is not my favorite thing in the world. I think while it's good in a lot of ways, some days, many days, I think the bad outweighs the good. So, yeah, it's not my favorite thing. I do it, but it's not my favorite thing. So, um, anyway, So let's see. I talked about trying to find my niche. Other than rambling, I don't know that I have one yet. I shared the stuff about my Canadian husband. We really, really, really would like to go visit his family, but the borders are still closed. And yeah, it just has not been great. And so, excuse me for a minute there while I block the camera out. I'm trying to move my light around and see. This canvas in particular was difficult because I don't know, I just couldn't get my light in the right place a lot of times, and maybe it's just because it was so confetti heavy. I will say, I think this is the first time I've done a canvas that's this confetti heavy, so we'll see how that works out when I get to my Josephine wall. But and you know, it wasn't confetti everywhere, but you can see the kind of edges of the canvas here. And of course, the Art Nouveau style, there's lots of swirls and flourishes and embellishments, and so when you have those kind of things, that makes for a lot of confetti. Um, and so, yeah, it was an exercise in frustration some days to just kind of think I was done with the color, only to then have to pull it back out because I missed one or two here or there. And so it's a process. I think you just finally resign yourself to the fact that you know you're going to miss some of them. I even drug out my light pad and tried that, and it didn't work great all the time. So, um, yeah, I think it's just a matter of getting used to, okay, you know, when it's this confetti heavy, you're going to miss and have to go back and fill in. And I have had to do that with my Josephine wall, just in the small section that I did. Um, yeah, I missed lots of things and had to go back. And so that's frustrating, especially with that one because there are so many colors. And I actually got a couple of nice comments from people um, about how other people organize. And of course, some things that I had never considered before. I just kitted everything up when I did it in DMC order. And if you're interested, I'll try to remember to stick a card up there so that you can see the kitting up video that I did. It's pretty long, so I don't know if everybody's interested in it, although apparently I could have made it a multi-part series. But anyway, because there were so many colors, I just by default kitted it up in DMC order. That's not how I kit up everything, but it is how I did that one. Just because with the stickers that they already had prepared and everything else, it just made it easier to do it that way. So that's what I did. But in working on it, that doesn't seem to be the greatest way to work on it. And so I had several people make suggestions, one of which was that instead of just kind of starting on the canvas and getting overwhelmed like I was to kind of look at the section you're going to do. I probably should have made smaller sections than I did. I left my release papers just at the size they come, which is like, what, around 4x6, somewhere in there. That's inches. It's like 5.9 centimeters by something centimeters. Anyway, I probably should have cut them in half. I think that maybe would have made it a little less daunting to start. But now that I've done it, I'm fine with leaving them the way they are. It's fine. But anyway, what they suggested was looking at the section and then kind of going through and pulling out all of the colors that you're going to need before you actually start laying any drills, which is probably helpful. And I did do a little bit of that the second time that I worked on it, which you'll see in a later video. But even at that, it just gets to be too much. There's so many colors, even in a small section, that it just got a little bit overwhelming. The other suggestion that someone made was to, rather than putting the colors in DMC order, was to put them in groups of colors. So like put all of the blues in one section together, put all of the browns in one section together, all of the greens in one section together, which probably makes the most sense for a big canvas like that that's so confetti heavy. I haven't done it yet. For me, it's, I think, just a mental challenge to Now I'm like, I'm going to keep them in DMC order just to see if I can do it. Because as you go through, like I did one section first, and it was kind of, it's difficult because when you look at the symbols on the key or on the inventory sheet or even on the stickers that they send, they're larger than what is on the canvas, of course. And so sometimes what one symbol looks like on the canvas is not what it looks like on the sticker or the inventory sheet, and so finding it can be difficult. Just because, you know, I get in my head that it looks like one thing and then it's something else, and so I skim over it because that's not the thing I'm looking for. So that can be frustrating. But I will say, after working on one section, when I went to the next section, there were symbols from the first that I recognized. So I was like, oh, okay, I know that's this symbol. So it was easy to locate. I knew where it was. And then it was easier to, even though there were new symbols in the new section, it was easier to find them just because I kind of had a little bit of familiarity with other symbols. So the only thing about leaving in DMC order is, I don't know, I kind of wanted that satisfaction of, okay, because there are so few drills of certain colors, you know they're probably only going to be in one or two places in the canvas. And so it's like, oh, I wonder if I'm done with this color because there's not very many drills and I just placed like quite a few in this section. But because I covered it up with my release paper, I can't tell. I've seen a couple of people who have said, you know, they go through by color. So, like, they'll take the first color and they do all of the drills of that color on the canvas. This canvas is so large, I think I would make myself bananas if I tried to do that. Like, I can't even imagine doing that on a small canvas. Maybe on like a 30 by 40 or smaller, maybe. But anything larger than that, and I think I would make myself crazy trying to do that. So, if you do that, more power to you. I don't have the capacity in my brain for that, I don't think. Just like I've had someone say that they kind of typewriter corn cob is what I'm calling it, a diamond painting where they just start at like the bottom right and go left, and then when they get to the end of that row they go up and they go right, kind of like a typewriter with your carriage return kind of thing. I guess it's more like corn cob eating than typewriting, but you know what I mean. Anyway, like a printer is how they described it. Um, I could not do that. I feel like that would just take you so much longer because you'd be changing colors so many more times than if you did it like like I do, where you take a section and you're like, okay, I'm going to do all of the purple in this section, or I'm going to do all of the orange in this section, or I'm going to do all of the green in this section, and do it that way. But I mean, everybody does it differently, right? So that's how it works. Um, I, yeah, it's just not a way that I could do it. So yeah, everyone does their canvases a little bit differently. Everyone approaches them a little bit differently. Everyone preps, kits up. Everyone does it all a little bit differently. But um, I like to think that I kind of tailor mine towards the canvas. Um, and maybe that's just me thinking that I do, and I really don't. Maybe I approach them the same way all the time. I don't know. I do know that canvases like this, where I have to go back in and kind of search for everything, I finally just got to the point where, with this canvas in particular, I will just pick out, okay, this is the color that there is the most of in this section, and I'm going to do all of those, knowing that I'm probably going to miss some in the confetti, and then I'm going to have to go back and do searches for, you know, particular colors or whatever when I get to that point. I'm going to pull everything out twice. Um, but if I can do the colors that are the most in each section, then I at least have a better chance of not missing as many of the confetti colors. I tried doing it the other way around and I was just frustrating myself. And so I finally got to the point where I was like, okay, what color is there the most of in this section? Is it this purple color? Okay, I'm going to do that purple color first. And like I said, I would still miss some, but not as many as if I was doing all of the, okay, there's only 3 in here, let me do this. And then I'd find out instead of 3, there's really 5. So doing it the other way around was helpful for me once I got into it. Um, I'm still in the process of, like I said, I bought this canvas for the Summer with the Masters event. I have another canvas that I'm going to be doing for that same event because this event runs through August, which is something else I really like. Sometimes I think, these people that pick events to do for a month, sometimes I think just a month isn't long enough for everybody to kind of get on board, especially if you don't announce until like right before or the day of, hey, I'm going to do this. Like on June 1st, you say, okay, I'm going to do this event for the month of June. Well, then by the time everybody gets everything prepared, maybe, unless they have something already on hand, you're probably halfway through the month. Especially something like this where a lot of people were going to end up ordering kind of custom canvases, which I still haven't done just because it seems kind of intimidating. But and I haven't needed to. Since they started doing this event, I found so many diamond painting companies that have options of public domain artwork, that I definitely am going to be exploring doing more public domain artwork on the channel. I mean, I already only show stuff that I can verify to the best of my ability that is either licensed, is public domain, or is a stock photo, so that I'm not showing, unlicensed artwork on my channel. Both because I don't believe in doing that, and also because I don't want to get my content yanked from YouTube. Um, but um, that being said, just doing this event, gosh, there's so many kind of older artists that I would love to do more in the Art Nouveau style, like this Mucha one that I'm doing. I really love Edward Layton and a lot of his kind of medieval chivalrous type um, paintings. uh, Lots of Renaissance type painters that I would love to do. I actually also bought a small Van Gogh canvas off of Amazon, as a backup in case this canvas or the other one that I ordered didn't show up in time for the event. Um, so I have that one to do as well. And there's just lots of stuff that's out there. I mean, I found, this company that had this particular canvas, and they actually have a couple of other Mucha canvases besides this one. Um, there are several stores that the people sponsoring the Summer with the Masters event have partnered with that have public domain artwork. And of course, if the artwork's in the public domain, you can send it to any company and get a custom canvas made because the artwork is in the public domain, so it's no big deal. Um, so that may be what I end up doing because I have some artwork that I really love, like Edward Layton, and I love Maxfield Parrish, if you know who he is. Um, the thing with a lot of the stuff that I like, though, I feel like the canvases have to be really big because with a lot of the swirls and flourishes and embellishments that come along with this kind of style, it has to be pretty big or you lose a lot of the detail. And I think that's true a lot of the kind of old paintings, because of course they're meant to be paintings. They weren't meant to be diamond paintings. So that may scare some people off, but I'm actually kind of looking forward to challenging myself to do those kind of things. So we'll see how that goes. I still haven't decided how and when I'm going to do that yet. I just know it's on my list of things I want to do is order a custom. I still also want to try some Heaven and Earth designs. I want to order some of their pre-made stuff. I have just in the last few weeks ordered some AB drills from DP with sparklers, and I have also placed an order with um, another drill company to buy some replacement drills, and I ordered the DB with sparklers. I bought all round drills because I'm going to be using those in my Diana canvas, but I bought some square ABs that I can use in other canvases because I have a lot of both round and square. So I tried to pick some colors, like I bought some 310 square ABs because I thought those would be fun. I know I'm going to have a canvas that has 310s in it, so why not get some ABs just to throw in for fun. Um, So I've done both of those things, which is not something I would have ever considered when I first started diamond painting. Didn't even know you could do that actually, so I've done that. Heaven and Earth sells both canvases that you can get either printed with color, like most canvases come, or you can get in black and white, which is how most mystery diamond paintings come. So you can do either of those, and you have to buy your drill separately, which seemed intimidating. But now that I've done it, I'm like, oh, okay, no big deal. I can figure that out. Um, but still doing the custom, I haven't done that yet. So I do want to do that, and I don't know what company I'll go with because of course there's lots of people that do customs. Um, and still lots of diamond painting companies that I want to order from. I have ordered from all kinds of companies, and I do have some from companies that are kind of what most people would call budget diamond painting companies. Again, I have selected pieces that I know are either licensed or in the public domain or are stock photos, so that I'm not showing anything that's stolen artwork. I do still have some pieces that I bought before I realized they were stolen artwork. And rather than letting those kits go to waste, I have put a link in the description below. So if you want to check that out, called Random Acts of Kindness. So if you want a random act of kindness from me, which may or may not include mailing you a diamond painting kit that I am not going to use or show on the channel, excuse me, then you can sign up for that below. Excuse me again, my throat, I need a drink. Anyway, um, I have various supplies that include kits and so actual diamond painting canvases with the drills or tool kits or various tools or things that I've purchased that I've either tried or just didn't want or need. Um, so if you're interested in getting a little care package, it's random. So when you sign up, it's random. It's as I have the money, and I do ship anywhere. But shipping is expensive if you're talking about kits. So if you don't live in the US, it may take a while, but eventually I will get around to you. Anyway, so all of that to say that I have lots of challenges and things hopefully coming that I want to set for myself. I am in the process of trying to decide on, I would like to do some sort of fundraiser. I'm trying to decide which charity I would like to pick for my first fundraiser. And I don't know yet, so we'll see. Um, Hopefully, as I do more of these WIP and chats, I'll get better about rambling on and on and on. And I'll have more of a coherent thought process through the whole thing. I know I ramble, so thank you very much for sticking with me. I think it's about time for me to head on out of here. I can sense my kids stirring downstairs, which means I'm getting interrupted. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to do all the things on your way out. Give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, thanks for watching.